Welcome to the Freight Flak Pack. It's Termex here, and welcome back to another Borderlands 3 build video. Today, we're going over my Deathbot Flak build for Mayhem 10, and it's going to be a stack build basically revolved around the Anarchy shotgun. You may have forgot about this gun. You may be too busy using your Sandhawk, or you may be too busy using that yellow cake on Trant for the 84th time. Well, I'm here to tell you that flak with the Anarchy is a thing of beauty, and I'm so excited to bring you guys this build today. It's probably one of my new favorite builds in the game, because I love the Anarchy shotgun so much, and its functionality is amazing. And this thing could actually do true takedown still. But anyway, before we get into the video, guys, make sure you subscribe if you're new to the channel. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it, and hit that bell so you don't miss out on any future Mayhem 10 flak builds. But anyway, what is this build for? This build is to combat basically anything in the game. Anything in the game, this build will be able to handle. With this build, you're not going to have to worry too much about anointments, except for the two ones that we have that are going to be for the takedown. All the rest don't really matter. But let's get right into the skill tree. To start off, we're going to go into our Hunter tree. 5 points in the Interplanetary Stalker for the 10% bonus damage after a kill. This stacks up to 3 times. Leave no trace because we want to get our next 2 magazine anointments for longer. So this is why we have this. We have the 36% chance to not consume ammo. We're going to max out head count so we can get our action skill back quicker. And so our Hunter Seekers can give us back our action skill as well when they proc Megavore. 5 out of 5 in a Hunter's Eye, so we can get the bonuses from all that. This increases to 8 out of 5, and that 48% robot damage is amazing when it comes to the melee 1 takedown. It helps out true takedown so freaking much that it's ridiculous. 3 out of 3 into big game, so our Hunter skill duration is doubled, and we have 30% stronger effects with all of our hunt skills. 3 out of 3 into the most dangerous game, so when we kill a badass, we get 25% bonus gun damage and 10% bonus crits. We get Galactic Shadow for the 15% increased critical hit damage. And finally, Megavores, so we have a chance to crit even if we're not in fadeaway or if we don't hit him in the head. This is going to help us out a lot. Very, very needed perk for this build. Now, sliding over into the Stalker Tree. 5 points in the Furious Attack, so we can get our gun damage stacks up easily. Very easy to do with a shotgun. 5 out of 5 in the Self-Repairing Systems for the 1.5% regeneration of max health. And we get the 30% bonus max health as well. 5 out of 5 in the Eager to Impress, so every time we get a kill, we're shaving 1.25 seconds off of our action skill cooldown. 3 out of 3 in a Turntail and Run. This is mainly for bossing and survivability. For bossing, you're going to be getting gun damage and fire rate while standing still, and while we're running around, we're going to be getting damage reduction and health regeneration. And of course, Lick the Wounds is going to be on here. Can't be a flak build without Lick the Wounds. Make sure you grab this because Postmortem will kick you in the ass if you don't do this. Postmortem is a big pain, and Lick the Wounds kind of got an indirect buff with Postmortem being added to the game. 3 out of 3 into the Fast and the Furious, so when we're above half health, we get increased gun damage, movement speed, and all that, and we're always going to be above half health, so we get the 42% gun damage and the 18% movement speed. 3 out of 5 in Rage and Recover, so when we get a kill, we get the health regeneration. And the Power Inside, so when we activate our action skill, we're going to be getting 25% bonus damage for 15 seconds, but if we're at full health, this goes up to 50% damage for 15 seconds. And finally, put your last 3 points into the Master Tree of Persistence Hunter. This is going to be giving us 12% gun damage and 45% action skill duration, so you can really choose your shots when you're inside a fadeaway. Speaking of fadeaway, we're going to be running fadeaway along with Until You Are Dead for the health regeneration and movement speed, and of course Unblinking Eye for the bonus crits. This is going to mainly be for our bossing and our tanky enemies, but remember, this build is completely true takedown compatible. You just have to be survivable in a way that you have to get used to moving. That's the thing about this build. You can't get used to standing still or you're gonna die. Only stand still when it comes to bosses. Anything else, you got to keep your feet moving. And as for the pet, I went with a Spider Ant Scorcher, so we can get that 10% elemental damage while still getting a little bit more health regeneration, because all of the Anarchies are going to be elemental. And of course, Guardian Rank is going to be disabled. Of course, Guardian Rank's always disabled with my builds. I want you guys to see the raw damage potential of all my builds without overkill affecting it, without any of the perks affecting it. I don't know why more YouTubers don't show you guys their Guardian Rank, because a lot of builds are only good because of Guardian Rank, but they will never tell you that Overkill is probably the most broken Guardian Rank in the game. But you guys can see that these builds are amazingly amazing without any bonus benefits. But if you want to play with your Guardian Rank, this build will just be 10 times better. As for our Mayhem Modifiers, of course we are in Mayhem 10. Why wouldn't we? Mayhem 10 is where it's at. And as for our roles, we have Loot Explosion, Healy Avenger, Pool Party, and Postmortem. Of course, Postmortem is not the best, but out of all the roles, this is the one that doesn't really piss me off. And of course, all of our roles are neutral. Nothing affects our gun damage, nothing affects our crit. We have none of those roles active. But as for our actually equipped gear, we're going to have 3 Anarchs in the save file. But we're going to have a Fire one, a Shock one with Splash ASE, and then a Cryo one with Corrosive ASE. And this little back burner is just there to, like, it's just a filler weapon. I don't know if I'm going to keep it in the save. I might not. I might. But yeah, that's the main Anarchies that we're going to be using. As for the shield, we're going to be running with the Transformer because it's going to be one of the more tanky shields for flak. You can even run a Recharger if you guys are into that, if you want to be a little bit more tanky and you don't mind avoiding all the shock fields. But the melee one takedown does so much shock damage that the Transformer for flak is almost needed if you don't have a rack attack sort of invincibility spam build going on. And next up, we have our Hunter Seeker Grenade. Now, this grenade, I've talked a little bit of poo-poo about this grenade. It's not been my favorite grenade in the game, but it has its purpose. And this is one of those purposes. We don't want to lose our stacks from our Anarchy. So, what do we have to do to get back in fadeaway? We have to hit crits, and the Hunter Seekers are very good at proccing Megavore to get you back inside of fadeaway and get you rolling. And now the bread and butter of this build. We have the Pearl of Knowledge. We already know the Pearl. It's going to stack up damage, give us a bunch of damage. We have fire rate and magazine size rolls for that. And of course, we have a stack bot. Mine is level 50. Ignore the level. This is the only stack bot I had that would benefit my Anarchy. If you have a better stack bot, go ahead and pop it on. If you have Jacob's damage and weapon damage, if you have all that, pop that on. But this is just my best mod personally. Stack bots can allow us to build up damage as long as we're hitting crits. And this is why I called it kind of like an Anarchy Deathbot build, because you're stacking up our Anarchy stacks, we're stacking up our Pearl stacks, and we're stacking up our Stackbot stacks. And with stacking up each one of these items, we're getting more and more damage, so in a way you're kind of playing like Gage did in Borderlands 2. But let's get right into usage of this build. Now, one big thing you guys should know is you need to stack up your stacks. If you don't stack up, you're not going to be doing as much damage. Now, you could always shoot all your bullets and then throw the gun and then get all your stacks, and you have to do that 10 times. Or you can actually, before you throw your gun, spam your emote. Like, do your emotes like this, like a little dance. I'm doing a little dance. Put the freaking disco balls and freaking party lights. But yeah, I'm doing a little dance, and once you do it about 10 times, just walk forward and throw it. And we're at 10 stacks already. You can see my square is huge and our accuracy is terrible. But that is a very good pro tip you guys can do if you want to stack up your Anarchy stacks before a boss fight, before a takedown run, before any of that kind of stuff. But let's show on Handsome Jackpot. Handsome Jackpot, what are you doing? Now, this guy is a little bit tanky, but that's completely fine. He should go through his first phase fairly quickly. And this feels like the old Anarchy again, which is awesome. You're still walking around 1 to 2 shotting enemies. And this is the Anarchy I miss. I didn't get to experience this gun for too long because, you know, they increase level cap and change everything every month. But I'm glad I actually get to experience this gun now because it is so fun, and I'm glad it's viable in Mayhem 10. I was surprised. Without the Pearl and Stackbot, this shotgun actually underperformed. I was shocked. Like, without the Pearl, it wasn't great. And without Stackbot, it couldn't really boss as quickly. But I found that this little combo, you're stacking up all these different stack modifiers that you're doing so much damage. At the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. Alright, Jackbot's going to be going into his last phase right here. Come on, Jackbot. There we go. And we're simply doing this with, we're not using any amp shield. We're not using anything like that. You can always pop on an amp shield if you feel like it's not doing enough damage. But I feel like we're doing plenty of damage. And Jackbot, come here. Boom. Yes. And since you guys know we are not running Guardian rank, we're not running Overkill, we're not running any of that, so I'm not boosting my damage through Guardian rank means. And the highest I've ever hit on this weapon with no Guardian rank on is like 50 million damage, and that's kind of crazy if you think about it. Once that stack bot starts stacking up, you're going to be doing ridiculous amounts of damage. But what kind of It's Termex video would it be if I didn't bring you guys to Athenas to show you guys how a build performs? Come on, you guys know Athenas is how I show you guys everything. But yes, this is what we're going to be using. We're going to be using our Shock Anarchy with 125 ASC Splash. And Splash will actually benefit our normal projectiles because technically the projectiles count as a splash damage weapon. So let's quickly get all of our max stacks before we even get into the fight. Before we throw it, do our little jingle, do a little dance with Scorch Jr. And we should be at 10 stacks now. Reload. Yep, 10 stacks. Very handy trick. And now we can play like normal, go into our fadeaway, and everything is ready to die. This build is just so fun. The Anarchy, this is how the Anarchy should always be. It kind of sucks that you need to have stack bot and the relic for it to perform this way, but it's a very fun gun. And this build honestly keeps up with my Sandhawk build that I made a while back, and I'm glad to see that there's more than just 4 guns viable. A lot of people have been saying the Anarchy fell off, but did it really? Now, before you fight someone, do your little jingle dance before they turn the corner. We did our little jingle dance 10 times. Now we can go into fadeaway, and boom. There we go. So before you kill your enemies, make sure you do the Anarchy dance. But what this build is really using, it's utilizing all of Flak's stacking capabilities, the stack bot. The pearls, of course, could be used on anyone, but we're just adding on to the stackage, I'm pretty sure that's a word. We're adding on to the stackage that the Anarchy already has, and what the pearl provides, and we're boosting that boost even further by the fact that we have stack bot. We are finally at the Agonizer, so we're going to go see how it performs with him. Now, I don't expect us to mount him too quickly, because if we had something like the 300% ASE, we would be doing an insane amount of damage, but I have not yet to get that, so we're going to see what we can work with what we got provided. Going to fadeaway. And that's some decent damage. I imagine it's not the quickest kill ever on Agonizer, but it's still good enough to be viable, obviously, when it comes to Mayhem 10. I don't think anyone's going to be complaining about this kind of kill. We can finish him off with our last 3 fadeaway shots, and it's easy. Post-mortem? No. No, no, no. Stop it. Not for you. But yes, guys, that is my basic rundown of Deathbot Anarchy Flak. Very fun build for you guys to experiment with. Very enjoyable to play. Nothing in the game is really going to stop you as long as you're at max stacks and you're in fadeaway. Like, nothing's going to really kill you. And I hope you guys have a lot of fun with it. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you leave a like on it. It helps me out a lot. Subscribe if you're new, and make sure you join that Flak Pack Discord. Link is in the description below. You guys can join that. We have trade chat, we have updates, we have meme room, we have everything. Anything you could think of, we have. But yeah, I hope you guys have a terrific day, and me and Scorch Jr. will see you guys later.